Welcome to the Forever Better Academy podcast, where you will be given the principles, tools, and techniques to reach the next stage on your journey of self-mastery. Who could you become? I'm your host, Wade Vincent. If you can't see the target, then you haven't started playing the game yet. This is Wade Vincent here, Forever Better Academy, and today I really wanted to talk to you guys about the importance of setting the goal, setting the target, what you're aiming for. Without setting that target, how can you possibly achieve what you're looking to achieve if you don't even know where you're going? So, many of you are aware, I've spoken about this a couple of times. If you've listened to any of the episodes of the podcast previously, I was a truck driver for almost 10 years. And during that time, when you're driving, because you're going sort of anywhere and everywhere, you don't really have that luxury of eating well and, getting in a good rhythm or routine or having quality food. Now, at the time, if you didn't pack a lunch, your only real choice, it's, a lot of areas is just takeaway. It's fast food. It's either something like a McDonald's or maybe a Subway, but even then some people don't argue that the Subway is not healthy, so that or like a service station, petrol station, fast food, like a meat pie, a can of Coke, just real quick food. So that was the norm. That was pretty much the 90% of the food that I was eating at the time. So you'd be, out and about in the truck, and then, when it was lunchtime, wherever you stopped, you just ate food with, whatever you could find that was close to where you were. In that regard, because I was like working and living that way, I was pretty much just eating. There was one point I was eating like a small sort of personal pan pizza, like those little takeaway pizzas that you just have for yourself. I would go and I'd eat 2 of those little pan pizzas. I'd have a can of cherry Coke, and then I'd usually finish that with like a crunchy or some other chocolate bar, like a Mars bar or a Snickers, something like that. And that was like day in, day out. And even most of the guys that I work with, you would see in the mornings, there was the only choice. If you're starting at 6 in the morning and you're at the depot, there's no food. There was a vending machine in the depot. And almost every other driver that was in that depot was drinking energy drinks, large cans, those big massive cans of Mother or Monster or Red Bull V. That was it. You had a packet of chips or a chocolate from the vending machine food-wise, and the drinks were, there wasn't even water in there. It was like Coke or energy drinks. That was the norm. And I remember every morning guys were just smashing those drinks, those cans, and there was rarely a healthy guy in that depot. And that was sort of where I was at. And I can recall my back was always hurting, like always in pain and agitated. I was eating and consuming a lot of sugar, and I was, just agitated. It really messes you up. When you actually step back and remove those things from your diet, you can see the impact they're having on your body, and not just health-wise, but just your approach to life, your energy levels, and also your attitude towards things. So I got to the point, I'm 5'10", 5'11", barely, but I've always sort of had a thick, sort of heavy set build, and I got to, I think I was 99 kilos when that was my moment where I said, enough, I can't keep doing this. I feel in pain, I'm aching, and like I wasn't, this is my early 30s. I wasn't really old by any stretch, of the imagination. I wasn't exactly, early 20s, fresh and fit and healthy, but it wasn't past my prime, as you would say. And the feeling of potentially breaking that that weight barrier to be 3 figures, that was my moment where I just had this immense desire to change the course. It was like that wake up call I needed. When I stood on those scales and I saw that it was 99 kilos, I was like, okay, I don't ever want to say that I was going to break 3 figures in kilograms in my body weight. So that was enough for me to have that desire to make a change. And the internal sort of struggle I was going through at the time was you make a lot of excuses, because when you're in that mode and you haven't really got in the rhythm and enjoyed or learned to what's the word I'm looking for? Anticipate or desire exercising and enjoy it. It's a burden. You see it as just this horrible feeling that it's gonna be miserable. It's uncomfortable, because when you're unhealthy, it feels like death. It's just unbearable. Exercising like that, using your body and the muscles and in ways that you haven't done for a long time, is very difficult when you begin. And as I said, I was ready to make a change. So the real first initial issue that was an obstacle for me was as I was driving trucks, I was working crazy overtime, right? So yes, it's an active job and you're moving, which is a huge benefit in the job. But I was canceling out all that activity because I was consuming far too many calories compared to what I was burning, and that's all it comes down to is caloric deficit. If you either putting more calories in your body than you require, or you're putting less than you're burning. That's all it comes down to, whether you're gaining weight or losing weight. And, when you're eating multiple pizzas and soft drinks and chocolates and energy drinks, and that's, your normal food, no fruit, no veggies, none of that, no good nourishing food, it's very easy to gain weight even in an active job. So as I was doing that work, it was really long days, because the way you made money was to work overtime and do the extra deliveries and extra shifts to make it viable to support your family. Otherwise, you barely make enough money doing that work. And at the time was doing easily every day would be 10 or 12 hours, a lot of 14-hour days as well. You'd start at 6 in the morning, and there'd be nights where it's like 7, 8 o'clock, and you're just driving the truck back in to unload the day's pickups. That became a real challenge, because at that point, when you're doing hours like that, the last thing you want to do is go to the gym after the fact. You're already tired, you're exhausted. So it was easy for me to make that excuse. And I say that, like, a lot of people, would listen to that and go, how could you possibly manage to get to the gym doing 14-hour days? But it all comes down to priorities and what's important to you. And I know some people won't like to hear that, but that's the reality of it. I lived it. I was doing those long days, and then after that, I'd go and do an hour and a half to 2 hours in the gym, because I had set that goal. I could see the bullseye, and I knew what I wanted to do. It was that simple. It meant more to me to get my health on track than being tired, because the alternative was that I was going to be even more exhausted and run down. And it's ironic, because the main way for you to really deal with a job like that is you need to be fit and healthy and have a vibrant energy about yourself for you to manage that kind of intensity of those long hours on your feet and that activity day in, day out. It's funny, isn't it? I had that, the frustration around the long hours, but I just had that realization that it was up to me to make those decisions that were positive and beneficial to the longevity of my health and well-being. And also understanding that it's in the habits that drive the success that you're looking for. So the small wins all multiply and get you to those goals. So I looked at it like, well, even if I could only do 20 minutes, say I was so exhausted and I didn't want to do an hour and a half, if I go and do just 20 minutes in the gym, it's building that reinforcement with those positive habits and the actions I'm taking where there's consistency, and then I start to see results, even if they're small, because I'm taking action. And they often talk about, doing 20 minutes to half an hour exercise, say five days a week, is far better than doing 1 2.5 hour session or 2 hour sessions. It's about the consistency and getting in that routine that serves you well. So when I understood that, I realized I could take control of my actions that would deliver the results I'm looking for. So when I started, I took on a workout program called Insanity. And Insanity is a 60-day workout plan where you do high intensity interval training. I think it's probably maybe about 25 minutes in the first month per workout, and that includes your warm up and your stretch and just the intensity part. And as you get further down into the second month, it might be 45 minutes. Generally, because it's so intense, you're not doing hours upon hours. But that allowed me to manage my time and do the exercise I needed to do to improve my health and manage the ridiculous long work hours that I was working at the time. So that was my plan of attack. Is I did Insanity, and it started to get me excited and really invested in fitness because I built that habit, because I stayed consistent. I did it day in, day out. I didn't waste any of my time, or I didn't lose momentum because I'd really taken that initiative and committed to myself. You have to make that decision. As I said, if you can't see that target, you're not even playing the game. It's all well and good to just jump in and do some exercise and then go, I'll do it the next day, or I don't know what routine I'm doing. I'll just I'll do some jump rope, then I'll do some bench press. Like, if you approach it haphazardly like that, you're going to get the results that are equivalent to your efforts and the input that you're putting into those decisions. So I really immersed myself in Insanity, and once I had done that, I caught the bug, if you will. I was so excited by fitness that I took on a gym membership for, I think, the first time in my life that I'd actually joined a gym. So I was always sporty when I was young and in school, and played team sports, loved it, was competitive, and joined the gym, and basically got myself in a rhythm where I would prepare my stuff the night before, and I'd pack my work clothes, and I would go in to the gym first thing in the morning. So I'd head in like 5:30, do my workout, have the shower, and get into my work gear, and then go do my work day. So then by the time I was sort of exhausted at the end of the day, I could go home and rest. I didn't have this, oh my God, I need to go do a workout after such a long day as well. So it also worked to structure my day in a way that doing a workout in the morning energized me for the day rather than sort of fatigue me. It seemed like it was easier to sort of get the blood flowing, get that oxygen around my body, stretch, and just wake my body up and my ability to face the day with vigor. So I'd done that. I'd lost some weight, but then the next thing that really hit me after I'd done the Insanity program, the thing that was letting me down was basically I didn't have the Bullseye. So I was just approaching, as I said, I was going into the gym. I knew that, Monday I was going to do chest and back, and Tuesday I was going to do arms and shoulders, and then Wednesday I would do lower back and I'd do legs. And it was just like, it's easy to fall into that routine. And there's the positive, the pro of having that routine is that helps you build that habit, and you have that momentum, and the consistency drives that want and that desire and the will for you to keep going, because once you've started that movement, it's harder to stop it. So that is the positive of it. But the negative is that you can very easily get caught up in that routine without actually having a goal of what you're looking to achieve. And when you don't have the bullseye, when you don't have a goal, when you haven't set in clear, concise, refined terms of what you are chasing and want to do and achieve, how can you possibly achieve it? If you don't know what you're after, if you don't know what you're looking to become or transform into, or the amount of weight you're looking to lose, you've already failed. How can you succeed if you don't set the finish line? Like you're just running. You imagine if in the Olympics they had like 100-meter race, and then they brought in a new race where it was just called the running race, and there was no defined distance and there was no finish line, and people just run as fast as they could all over the stadium. It'd be ridiculous. Can you imagine? Like, actually picture that. You imagine seeing runners at a start line, all there ready to go. The official fires the gun or blows the whistle, and off they run in all different directions all over the place with no one knowing where they're going or why they're running. You wouldn't get very far. You're not going to win gold medals doing that. So I think it's vital to remember how important it is, besides having that habit and building that momentum and the consistency that drives it and serves you well. You've got to understand what you're looking to achieve and set that goal, so that even if it's not done very first thing when you start, you make sure that you take that action to set that goal. And I would, I'm guilty of this, because this is pretty much what happened once I started with it, where I had a very open-ended, loose goal of, I want to lose weight and I don't want to break 100 kilos. So that gave me the momentum and the motivation as to why I needed to start, but it didn't actually give me any real direction or course of action. And all the times that I have failed to give myself a definitive or a plan, I find that I'm that runner running around the stadium, just running for the sake of running. And yes, you'll get some benefits, but you won't reach the full capacity. You imagine the difference if you were that one runner in the stadium that trained for, say, the 100 meters, and you knew that you had to run in one direction, and you knew that you had to do it as fast as you could do it, and you knew the technique that you needed to train with, and you also knew that at the end of that 100 meters, you knew that distance, and you knew there was a definitive finish line endpoint, that there was nothing else. You're completely laser focused. Your target is set and fixed on that finish line, and you have to apply all those things that you're doing, and as fast as you can, get to that finish line. How much different would your results be if you were that runner with that mindset and those goals and those clearly defined, that bullseye, the target, compared to everyone else that's just running all over the place? They're not even in the race. And that's another thing. Once you set yourself those goals and you create the target for yourself, you're already ahead of like 95% of people. Easily, because you think about, Even if, and this is the funny thing, right? Even if someone's faster runner than you, to keep with this analogy, right? Even if someone's a better runner than you, they have a better technique, they're faster, they're genetically better endowed to be a runner, you can still beat them and win that gold medal because you've set the bullseye, you've set the target, and they haven't. How powerful is that? The impact and the difference that setting that bullseye makes to your life. It's one of the most important aspects in anything that you attack or are desiring to achieve. You've got to set the bullseye. As I said, if you haven't set that bullseye, you're not even playing the game yet. You're just training on the side of the stadium for the sake of training. Why? I let myself down. I did this for years. For years after I did Insanity, I lost 17 kilos. And I was motivated and excited, and that's why I joined the gym. And I joined the gym, and what was my goal? To be healthy? That's not a definitive. How do I define that? Be healthy. How? What does that actually mean? So I'm here doing the work, putting in the sets and reps with no idea where I'm going. Absolutely none. And for years, my results reflected that. So I really had to internalize and understand the importance of setting that target. So now the way I approach it, rather than just saying I want to be healthy or I want to get strong or I want to get bigger, I set goals for myself. I use a workout tracker app called Strong. If you guys, I'm pretty sure it's on the App Store and Google Play. If you go to the gym, it's important to define this and track your progress. I highly recommend using something like Strong. Check it out. It's an amazing app, and there's no affiliation here. I just recommend it because I love it and it's fantastic. So then I set those goals. You can actually put in clearly defined like what the measurements are of your body, chest or arms or legs, what you want them to be, and help assist you to achieve. Because if you know where the finish line is, you can run towards it. It's that simple. If you know where the finish line is, you can run towards it. And if you don't, you're just running. So it changed the way that I approach my fitness because I set definitive goals with specific amounts of weight that I want to lose. You can set dimensions, as I said, of what I want my body measurements to be. A super useful thing that I've done, I know a lot of gyms have, is the body scans, where you can and that's another thing, understanding where the start line is too. It's important to know, okay, if I set the goal and here's the finish line, well, where am I starting? How far do I have to run? It's very easy in those clearly defined terms. If you've got the finish line set, you know where you are, you know where you've started, you can reverse engineer that. It is so much easier when you have that clearly mapped out end bullseye, the target. You know exactly where you are at this very moment, and then you just fill in the gap between the two. What do I need to do from point A, where I am currently, to get to point B, where I want to be, and how long, this is also important, do I want to achieve it in? So definitive goals around the bullseye itself. What is your target in using the fitness example? How much weight do I want to lose? How much lean muscle do I want to pack on? What are my ideal body measurements? When do I want to achieve this by? And how am I going to do this? It's so much of a game changer when you apply these things to your life, and you can you've got the roadmap in front of you. It's like the difference in having Google Maps available to you versus looking at the sun in the sky to navigate east and west. It's a world of difference. And once I set those goals for myself, I achieved them far quicker because I was able to achieve them because I knew what I was trying to achieve. It was that straightforward. Once I knew, I could achieve it. I could do it. If I didn't know what it was, you failed from the beginning. And the wonderful thing about all of it, as just this beautiful side benefit, is you learn this powerful habit that changes the way you approach everything in life. And I became probably the fittest I've ever been in my life, and I have more energy, and I feel far more joy and happiness just as a side benefit. So there's so much to gain from this. So I really wanted to give you guys this, because I know I'm guilty of it. As I said, I never used to set those goals for myself. I never did it. So I want you guys to take that away. Think about it seriously. After you listen to this, sit down, pen and paper, or on your device, your phone, your laptop, whatever it may be, and set that goal. What am I trying to achieve? Where am I now? How far am I from that point? What do I need to do to get there? And when do I want to have it done by? All right, guys, this is Wade Vincent, Forever Better Academy, and I thank you for tuning in and listening. For those of you watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching the video. If you like the content, please subscribe. Hit the notifications bell so every time a new video comes out, you're aware. New episodes of the podcast every Friday, so I look forward to the next one, and I appreciate you guys. Have a blessed day. Talk to you again soon. See you guys. Bye.